times have we all heard the advice to put those chips down and eat some steamed broccoli, or push those fries away and enjoy a cool, crisp, and refreshing salad? If you're like me, and I'm sure you are, then the answer to that question is too many times. Unbeknownst to the people who are giving us that advice is the strong probability that they may be doing more harm than good. The seemingly fresh vegetables and fruits they are pushing on us can actually lead to disastrous health consequences through the art of sophisticated poisoning. So, where to return? On the one hand, the fruits and veggies are a primary staple of the good life. On the other hand, they may actually be slowly killing us. However, there is a light at the end of the tunnel we are hurtling through right now, and that is an aggressive turn towards the use of hydroponically, organically produced fruits and vegetables to feed the world's ever-growing population. However, before that long-term goal is met, many short-term goals must be met first. Today you will hear a speech that explains why certain pesticides are failing us, what information we can arm ourselves with, and how we can demand and utilize organically produced fruits and vegetables in our own daily lives. In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with a barrage of choices pertaining to the food we eat, from whether to get that quick meal from McDonald's or to spend the time preparing and making that home-cooked meal just like Mama showed us. However, for the most part, what we do not have a choice in is what pesticide in which to ingest. Pesticides like neem oil, which I will explain later in my speech, fortunately exist and allow us to have some choice in deciding whether or not to ingest a pesticide as a side item with every meal. However, the vast majority of pesticides used in today's farming do count as an extra side of poison, and their nutritional value does nothing for our well-being. The pesticide that 93% of Americans tested positive for by having metabolites in their urine by the CDC is chloropyrifos, a neurotoxic insecticide, wrote the Pesticide Action Network in 2013. This class of pesticides is notoriously known for causing a whole host of health consequences and has actually been banned in some cases. Here is another example where the CDC found that 99% of Americans tested positive for DDT degradants, even though DDT has not been used in the U.S. since 1972. This fact is especially alarming to women because women who were exposed to DDT as young women are 5 times more likely to develop breast cancer, wrote the Pesticide Action Network on its website in 2013. These two are representatives of the multi-tiered issue that I want to take a bit of time to part and parcel. When you cut into the meat of any issue, you get a whole host of aromas that can lead you astray. However, the most potent and pungent always override the rest. The issue we are cutting into today is the production of food and the use of organophosphates or chlorprophysites, as they're more commonly known, in production of our food is that pungent odor. That odor is based on the fact that when organophosphates are utilized, disastrous health consequences are almost certain to occur. For instance, the United States government in the 1990s suspected that organophosphates might be linked to problems such as neurological disorders, birth defects, ADHD, and cerebral palsy, wrote Friedland, Rayla, and Conrad Hari in their 2011 book titled Environmental Science for AP. In fact, even though no conclusive study proved at that point that Dursban, the commercial name for chlorprophysites, caused such ailments, in 2000, EPA declared in a press conference that they were eliminating virtually all home and commercial use of Dursban. I found this on the EPA's website for press announcements. In 2013. This policy was looked well upon and seemed to cover all the bases. Unfortunately, as Mother Jones, an investigative journal, reported in 2000, when you dig into the weeds, this policy is not always chalked up to be. For example, Mother Jones reported that the policy allows Dow AgroSciences to continue making Dursban for residential uses until 2002. This muddled the ban because this rule allowed a school custodian to purchase a 50-gallon drum of Dursban in 2000 and just use it just as long as he wanted to. And it would also be a legal thing, which is just crazy to me. This provided a big loophole, and nothing was ever done to close it, allowing us, when we were growing up, to possibly come in contact with this pesticide as it was widely used during our time in primary school. And remember that steamed broccoli I mentioned earlier? Well, Dow was allowed until 2004 to continue to use Dursban on strawberries, broccoli, corn, and other crops, explained Mother Jones in the same 2000 article. Moving along until today, we now live in a world where Dursban has been banned for use in all commercial food production. This is a clear victory, and we should celebrate and revel in it. Now, the only possible way we could be affected by Dursban would be if anyone we knew, or even us, were to come into contact with someone who ever decided to golf or drive with their windows down on the highway. Why would golfing or driving with your windows down allow you to be exposed to this proven, pesticide that has been banned? Well, that's because it is still legal to utilize it to kill ants on golf course and road medians, according to the University of Tennessee study on commercial turfgrass insect control. Combating this dependence on continuously relying on detrimental pesticides, the hydroponic food industry has recently flourished like a rose bush in the spring. In 2013, the Natural Standard stated that hydroponic farming is a farming method of growing plants inside an enclosed structure without soil, but in a selected growing medium where the lighting, temperature, and nutrients are closely regulated. Since the plants are grown in water, pests or diseases usually associated with soil do not exist, wrote Dr. Julie Casper, a 30-year veteran with the United States Bureau of Land Management. That way, those same pesticides are usually utilized in traditional farm growing or not needed. Hydroponic farming has been on the cutting edge of food production in the last decade or so. Where hydroponic farmers have been the most innovative has been in the discovery and effective use of discovery and production of environmentally and human-friendly pesticides. The most effective has been the discovery of that neem oil can be utilized. Where neem oil is effective because of its ability to fatally disrupt the life cycles of a huge range of insect pests with no harmful effects on people, animals, and beneficial insects. It has been found to be effective on 200 pesticides and has no resemblance to the chemicals in today's pesticides, wrote Tom Alexander in his 2001 book. The fact that it does not resemble common synthetic pesticides, such as Dursban, has led people to believe it would not have any long-term health consequences. This belief was backed up by a March 2012 study conducted by the National Pesticide Information Center, in which animals were fed neem oil for 90 days. They did not have increase in cancer rates, which has led people to believe that this is actually a viable solution. To eat a food produced in this manner, I would say y'all should go to Whole Foods and just look around and pick up something that is organically produced. To do so, you can ask a Whole Foods worker to point out foods that are organically produced, and then you can buy them. I would suggest that you get something like the organic French toaster sticks, the organic Honeycrisp apple juice, and I say this, the organic cream cheese tastes really good on to-go bagel from Louis. By seeking out these foods, we create a demand for them, and if enough people demand something, a smart corporation will supply it, and hopefully supply it ethically, for if they do not, they risk alienating customers. For those who might not have the time or money to do this, we can download the app from the App Store called the Organic Farm Finder, which allows us to find local organic food, which not only make you a healthier person, but will help to foster a better world and environment for all of us. Now that I have completed my speech, I hope that you will not only feel more informed about the pesticides that we all have been subjected to, but will take some time out of your busy days and smell the roses and subject yourself to some food that has not been a victim to a pesticide's ferocious grasp. And I leave you with this. Though you might think organic food is pricey now, just imagine that doctor's bill if we never cut our ties away from synthetic pesticide-infused food and turn towards organically produced food, which seems to be proven to be a healthier alternative.